A very good morning, and as you would say in Holland, een hele goede morgen. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Fabio, and welcome back to another daily market outlook, where we discuss pairs like EURUSD, pound dollar, and of course gold. So starting off with EURUSD here on the daily time frame, we can see that the market has started to form some form or somewhat of a retracement. This is what I highlighted in yesterday's video, why I was not interested in a short from down below over here, as we were already underneath this break of structure low. Now we are in much more interesting price action due to the fact that we're currently situated within this overall buy before the sell, right? However, keep in mind the overall daily fractal structure has this currently as its daily fractal high and this currently as its daily fractal low. So I'm happy to look for potential shorts until we break this black line's high. If we go down a time frame in towards the 4 hour, however, there is something less interesting. Now, if we were to look at the overall breaks of structure over here, let's just say this is your initial break of structure, this is your second break of structure, this is your high, this is your low, this is your low, this is your lower high, this is your lower low. Now, obviously, you would be looking for another short in towards the downside. However, there are a few rules when looking for shorts, guys. We need a few things, right? So first of all, we need an area of supply. So for example, a supply zone could be over here, or a supply zone could be over here, or a supply zone could be over here. Very, very simple. However, you cannot just simply short from any supply zone, right? Because the probability of you then winning is going to be extremely low if you just keep on selling from every single supply zone based on one single bearish candlestick. So what I am currently waiting for is for the structure to align, because guys, market structure is king in trading. Market structure is everything. What we can see is that here we had a fractal low break, here we had a fractal high break. So now what does this mean? It means that we had a bullish market structure shift, which occurred after the break of structure. Now, if you know me for some time, there are two moments in time when I expect a potential pullback to happen after a break of structure, right? Because if we look at the overall market as a trend, what do you expect after a BOS, after a break of the market structure? You expect a pullback in towards the upside. So when does this pullback occur? Well, it happens first of all when we see a market structure shift like this over here. So when the fractal structure starts to shift, that is when you expect a pullback to happen and to continue until again you see a bearish market structure shift. Second of all, you expect it to happen when we either tap into liquidity or when there is a strong area of demand on the higher time frame. Now, if we look here on the weekly, we can very clearly see that what I highlighted in yesterday's video is currently acting as an area of liquidity. This is a significant low over here. And as you can see, as soon as we grab the liquidity, we are starting to see some form of a bullish pressure here on EU. Next to that, obviously, if we just zoom out here on the daily, what happened is that we saw a break of structure over here. And again, what do you expect after the break of structure? You expect a potential pullback to happen. When do you expect the potential pullback to happen? When either you tap into a strong area of demand / liquidity, or when you see a change of character. So now in order for us to start seeing a potential pullback on EU to happen, and I'm not saying that it's going to happen, but let's say it does happen, then there is two things that we need. And that first of all was the weekly liquidity, which we had over here. So the higher time from area of demand or liquidity, either one, and a daily fractal structure shift. So at the moment, I am still very bearish on EU, guys. There's no sign at all that we're going to see a pullback. We can still see that the overall momentum is very clear in towards the downside. However, if we do start breaking this black line's high over here, that could indicate that we are ready to start seeing a reversal in towards the upside, as this is currently your daily fractal high. So waiting to see what's going to happen with that daily fractal high. If we do break that fractal high, then I will be interested in trading a potential pullback to take out a lot of equal highs, which we still have. For example, over here, these two highs. Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm looking at for now. I am very, very interested in looking still for some further upside from EU. We also here on the 4 hour time frame have a lot of equal highs situated over there. So I am interested for now in looking for some further upside on EU. As you can see, there is still room to the 0.5 fib. So I'm still not interested in shorts if you are wondering. And this is currently the 4 hour bullish fractal range over here. So what I'm now looking at preferably is just either a pullback and further upside, or just further upside from here, take out all of these equal highs, and then, for example, react to this area of supply or this area of supply, then go in towards there, see the 4 hour change of character, see the trend shift, and then provide us with a bearish market structure shift on both the 4 hour and the daily. Okay, so that's what I'm going to be looking for on EU. Otherwise, obviously, once we break the daily fractal high over here and we see the 4 hours start to shift as well, then we could start looking for some potential pullback plays as we have grabbed that weekly liquidity. This is not only just based on EU. Also, if we look here on the dollar index and we just go up a time from into the weekly, what we can see is that we're pretty much inside of this area of supply. Now, as you guys know, there are two ways that we can identify an area of supply, right? Method number one is the 50% body candle indicator over here. So what you want to look for are just very simply said 2 white body candlesticks like this next to each other, draw the zone from wick to wick, and then look for a strong impulse. And then what you will see, as for example over here, 2 of these candlesticks draw the zone from wick to wick, and then you see a strong impulse down. You see over here we react, here we react again. It happens everywhere. You can even see that it happened, for example, over here. Again, draw the zone from wick to wick, and you see it acting as an area of supply. So it's as simple as that. But yeah, that's why I'm looking at this as a strong weekly area of supply that could facilitate a potential pullback after what has been a very significant move. Furthermore, if we look back in history, we can see that once Trump became president, we also saw a pullback on the dollar after a rally into the anticipation of him becoming president. If I'm not mistaken, this was back in 2016. Over here, you can see that around just over here. So from, what was it, November over here, October, November. Here we had a rally all the way up in towards the highs. Then it was January, so the first month that Trump was president, and then the overall pullback again in towards the downside started. So I'm potentially looking at something of similar size, not necessarily the downside movement, but definitely some form of a pullback after a massive rally into the anticipation that Trump is going to become president. It is very nice alignment with a weekly area of supply, but obviously we do not react on what we think, we react on what we see. And what I can currently see is that there is a lot of momentum in towards the upside, and obviously a pullback or a deeper correction after just one big impulse up would not be very, very strange. Now, when can we expect that potential pullback to happen? Well, obviously when we get what? A change of character, indeed. So what we're waiting for is for this black line over here to go. If that black line were to go, I would also have a lot more conviction that, for example, we can take out these equal lows over here and then also see an impulse in towards the upside on EURUSD. Because when the dollar index is down, that means that EURUSD goes up because the euro becomes stronger in comparison to the dollar, okay? That's all you really need to know. And looking at this over here, this is the daily fractal low, and then this could be a nice buy up for a sell down, see tapping towards it, and then see some form of a deeper correction. But obviously this is not yet happened, or has not yet happened. Until the black line, or as long as the black line is respected, we should just continue up higher. So I'm just speaking into the future, what could potentially happen, okay guys? So that's what I'm looking for on the dollar. If that happens, then we know how to react. Then if I go into AUDUSD, what can we see over there? So AUDUSD is reacting very heavily, pretty much as expected. You guys know it. We discussed this in yesterday's video. We have a weekly swing low over here, which is acting as an area of demand. Massive overextended move in towards the downside. So it does make sense to start looking for a potential pullback play. Now again, what do? We're going back down in towards the daily. And what do we see here on the daily? Okay. Let me just delete the zones for you real quick. What we have here is a daily fractal high and a daily fractal low. So obviously this is just part of the pullback. Like, people see these two bullish candlesticks and then they think, aha, everything has now changed. We're now bullish. And I kind of get this, in Dutch we say, underbelly feeling that the market is ready to start pushing up higher, right? But do not get yourself mistaken. We can just head down lower again, because if we just zoom out again, we've many times seen like an impulse down and then just two bullish candlesticks before heading down lower again, right? Over here, you can see it over here. Like, it happens everywhere, even over here. So we could just start selling off again. Do keep that in mind. But obviously, we're now at a more significant level, being this weekly swing low. So there is a lot higher probability in, after this overextended move, for a potential pullback to come into play. However, we do not react again on emotions. I know that I always keep on saying this, but we react on what we see and what we understand from the market. And that is that we always wait for the fractal structure shift. So once we see this black line high get broken, that is then the moment when I'm going to say, okay, maybe we can start taking out all of these equal descending highs and we can start trading a potential pullback. As long as this black line is respected, or only, I think that sounded a little bit strange, sorry, but I am only looking for further shorts, okay? As simple as that. For now, the 4-hour fractal structure is bullish. Remember what I said in yesterday's video, this supply zone not very strong to short from, especially not after a break of structure. Watch back yesterday's video, that was I think a very good one. But for now, what can we see? 4-hour fractal is bullish. So here fractal low break, here fractal high break. Let me just delete all of this for you again. So very simple. Here we break the fractal low, here we break the fractal high. This is now the fractal high and this is now the fractal low that we're trading in between. Here we have a lot of descending highs. I wouldn't be surprised if we just continue up higher. I hope to see a push up. This then becomes a nice strong area of demand and then just continue trading up higher with the overall order flow. And obviously at some point in time, let's say we just take out liquidity above this high over here. And then again, we see the 4-hour structure shift in towards the downside. And we also still see that the daily fractal is bearish. Then obviously I'm just going to be happy to short this thing again because I expect still it to head down lower as long as the trend remains bearish, right? There's no sign yet of us being bullish until that daily fractal high is broken. So that's what I'm looking for on AUDUSD. Going into GBPUSD, what can we see over there? So GU, yeah, I mean, GU is a little bit more complicated demand-wise because there's nothing really clean here to the left. There's also not a very significant swing low whatsoever. So I'm not really focused too much on that demand. I'm more focused on what the dollar index is doing. Now, looking here at the daily, we can obviously see that the overall buy before the sell or the overall order flow is all the way up here. So preferably on GU, we would still see some further upside. Not interested in shorting this yet, as I always need an area of supply to look for shorts. Yes, you could say that there is some supply inside of these 2 wicks if you're being very aggressive. Look at the 4-hour time frame though, and then what you will see is again very similar as on the other pairs. We have seen a 4-hour low break, 4-hour high break, meaning that this is now your 4-hour fractal low, this is now your 4-hour fractal high. So to myself, it does not make sense to look for any shorts today because the 4-hour fractal structure is bullish. And when the 4-hour fractal structure is bullish, to me, it indicates that there is potentially a pullback in play, especially if you then also look at the Fibonacci retracement. This is what's going on. We can see that the 0.5 fib has still not yet been hit over here. So, I mean, yeah, shorts not really on the table for myself yet. Obviously, this is an interesting area of supply. This is an interesting area of supply. And yeah, what can I say? As long as those have not yet been hit, not very interesting. Here we have equal highs as well. So I do preferably want to see some further upside. Also, even if I would want to short from, let's say, this 4-hour supply zone, then we would need to see an impulse. This becomes fractal low, and then we just see a market structure shift again, and then we take shorts in towards the downside. But for now, no shorts on the table because the 4-hour swing is down, but the 4-hour fractal is up. And in order for me to take a trade, I need all of the structure forms to be in alignment, which are currently just not the case. Going into NZDUSD next, and then of course gold. So NZDUSD has been pushing up like crazy. Nice to see, to be honest. This is actually what I kind of want to see on AU today and maybe on GU as well, that we kind of break this high again and that this now becomes your area of demand. So very simply said, and I know it's very like repetitive, but you guys understand what we do is just the same every single day over and over again. We start on the daily time frame. What do we see on the daily time frame? Okay, on the daily time frame, we see that the overall swing structure is bearish, right? So this is a daily. Swing is down. Okay, then we look at fractal structure. What is fractal structure telling me? And obviously the swing is down, right? You can see the overall impulse down. Okay, the fractal structure is bearish as well. What is the fractal structure? This is the fractal high, this is the fractal low, this is the fractal high and low because we broke the fractal structure over here in towards the downside. Now we have seen a good sizable retracement in towards the buy before the sell. So we're currently situated in a daily supply zone, which has the potential still to push the market down lower into what? Into these 2 swing lows. So then I go back into the daily time frame and I look here and I look at the structure and I say, okay, daily swing is down, daily fractal is down. Then I go in towards the 4-hour time frame. What do I see in the 4-hour? Okay, 4-hour swing is what? Down, right? Because here we saw the break of structure. This is my swing high, this is my swing low. Now if we draw in a Fibonacci retracement, you can see, okay, we're now trading at the 0.5, which is nice to look for potential shorts. Now here you have, for example, got a supply zone. Here we had descending highs. So now I already understand everybody's saying, and I already get these DMs this morning, Fabio, can we now short here? Can we short? Okay, guys, what do we need in order for a short? And I explain this every single day. We need the market structure to shift into our favor because at this point in time, what could just happen is that this is now your area of demand that is in control. Keep that in mind, okay? This is now the demand zone that is in control. Seeing a fractal structure shift here is very good. Why is it very good that we're seeing a fractal structure shift over here? Because now the fractal low is situated over here, right? So the fractal low is now situated over here and not all the way down over here, because this was the previous fractal low. Let's say this red candle over here, this bearish candle, broke the high of the previous candle, then this wouldn't be a pullback. This wouldn't be fractal structure over here. This would then be your fractal low, meaning for us to get into a short, we would need to see the market push all the way down, then see a pullback, and then get into a position. But for now, demand over here is in control. This is good. So let's say we see a push up into this supply zone, then we see a push down and we break fractal structure. Yeah, then I would be happy to potentially look for a short position, as long as, for example, the daily fractal structure on the dollar index also remains bullish, meaning that the dollar is still bullish, right? So we have liquidity, we have supply, we have bear structure. All we need now on NU is fractal to shift bearish as well. So this is what you need. Otherwise, what could happen is that we just respect it and we just continue up higher, and then the start of that pullback on the dollar is then potentially starting, right? But obviously on NU, I'll only be looking at longs once we break like this. Otherwise, for now, obviously shorts are still on the table, but we need the 4-hour fractal structure to shift, like I just explained. Going into gold, last of all, gold, what we can see over here has made a retracement. 4-hour structure is very, very unclear for me at the moment. It's very choppy and messy market, guys, here on gold. What I'm just looking at, or going to look at, is this area of 4-hour supply. Not really interested in this wick over here. Obviously, you could consider this the entire buy up before the sell down. So again, sellers are now in control, just waiting for this for now to get broken if you're interested in any longs. Otherwise, shorts are now the only option. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Wish you all a fantastic trading day and speak soon.